So what do you do if you're asked to reintroduce yourself in front of an audience and someone already introduced you? This question comes from Patrick. Says, TJ, on a recent business trip, I was tasked with facilitating 2 workshops. On day 1, the organizers welcomed the attendees and got them settled in and closed their opening word by introducing me and mentioning the title of my first workshop. In my usual manner of handling things, I step up front, I smile at the audience, some of which had saluted casually while everyone, well, I wish I got saluted, before everyone got seated, and I opened my word with a question. Something just meant to arouse the curiosity and get them focused. While a few of the attendees reacted as expected, I was abruptly interrupted by a couple who asked me, "Won't you please introduce yourself first?" While I was slightly surprised by the request, I smiled and replied, saying I was under the impression that Mr. Jones had just introduced me, but fear not, you will hear it again from the lion's mouth. And I proceeded to do a shameless self-plug, which seemed to satisfy them. My question is, TJ, how would you handle this? So you've been introduced, you start speaking, someone asks you, will you introduce yourself? How would I do that? There's a lot of different ways of doing this. Part of it is you have to take a sense of the room. My first inclination is I would try to use this as a learning moment. I would look at the person and say, first of all, thanks for being interested in who I am. Then I would go to the person right next to them and say, you, sir, could you stand up? Or you, ma'am, could you stand up? You were here during the introduction to me. Tell your colleague next to you who I am. Now, either way, I'm happy with the result. If the person says, I'm sorry, I can't really do that, I said, no problem. I would go to the next person. And ideally, they wouldn't be able to do it. I would then use this as a learning moment and say, folks, your memories are perfectly fine. Here's what happened. I was introduced, and the introduction was perfectly fine, but this proves my central point of why I'm here today, and that is, it's hard to get audiences to remember anything you say. If you want them to really remember it, you have to package it with an interesting story, an example, some kind of interaction like I'm doing now. That's who I am. I'm someone who helps people speak so that the audience actually remembers you. So that's how I would do it, but you got to be careful. I could do that and it backfire and people think I'm putting them on the spot or rude or trying to make someone feel stupid. So I have to do that very lightly and I have to get a sense of the room. Another way of doing it might be someone says, who are you? And I might just start off with, you had the nerve to stand up and ask a question. Let me ask you, do you feel any elevated heart rate? Do you get a little nervous about that? Presumably the person might say yes, but they could say no. Either way, I'm fine. I would say, that means you're perfectly normal getting a little anxiety. People feel anxiety when they speak. So that's what I do. I help them remove the anxiety. I help them speak so that they know they're coming across comfortable, confident, and relaxed so they can do exactly what you did. Ask a question in front of a room full of people. Speak in front of a room full of people. So I would try to tailor it to the person, do it in a way that continues my message, do it in a way that's seamless, and doing it in a way that doesn't seem canned of, well, okay, let me read you my biography again. That's how I'd handle it. Patrick, thanks for the question. Thanks for all your questions. Again, I'm TJ Walker. I'm here for you every single day. To my knowledge, this is the only place on the internet, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching this, where 7 days a week, I answer your questions about public speaking, presentation skills, and how to speak to the media. I'm TJ Walker, CEO of Media Training Worldwide. If you would like to improve your public speaking skills, your presentation skills, or your media skills, we've got a lot of options for you. I have online training courses, public workshops every month in New York City, and private one-on-one and group trainings. If you want to improve your speaking, please go to my website, mediatrainingworldwide.com. Information is below. Or give me a call.